moved off yet. However, they are moving off. You've got Degods moving onto Ethereum, Yoots onto Polygon. Apparently, there's some deal there that he got paid a couple of $1 million to move onto Polygon. Some FUD about that. Frank is just saying, look, in the end of the day, that's money that we're going to use to build, not money going into my pocket. He also said that wasn't the highest offer that they got, $2 or $3 million from Polygon. They got higher offers from other blockchains, but they, feel that it's a win-win for Yoots and Polygon to do this together. That Polygon needed a sustainable diamond-handed NFT collection, which they haven't had, even though they've had big names, and that it can do what they need it to do for them. And from Polygon's side, from Frank's side, it can gamify the way he wants to gamify the Yoots. He's had a lot of backlash from the Solana community, obviously, because some people feel abandoned. In the end of the day, he feels that it's a calculated risk and in the best interest of Degods to be on Ethereum. He made this decision when Solana was really, really crashing bad and sitting at $8 or $9. Wonder how he feels now with what's happened. I think this is a big loss to Solana. I really do, to the Solana NFT ecosystem. I really do think it's a big loss. But that's big news that's happened in the last couple of weeks. This was weird, Kate. I don't know if you saw how he announced it, but this was really freaking strange.
Thank you. The support from this community has meant the world to us. Thank you for putting us on the map. We could not have done any of this without you. We've come to the realization that in order to grow, we need to explore new opportunities. We believe that now is the time to take a calculated risk and embark on a new journey. After all, the biggest risk is not taking one. So that's why today we are excited to announce that Degods, Yoots, and Dust will be bridging onto new blockchains. Yoots will be moving to Polygon, Degods to Ethereum, and Dust will be bridged to both Polygon and Ethereum. The bridges will be live in late Q1 2023. You thought I forgot about the points? You will be able to spend your points on minting NFTs that go through our brand new NFT Accelerator Launchpad program. More details on how to apply in January. And the roadmaps are coming early January. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
I don't know, bro. It just seems like a very basic
Thank you for putting us on the
video project to me. I mean, I think
you're an established businessman, and I've been doing business for the last couple of years, and I also am a content creator. What I do know is they're doing everything right in the sense that like this is a good move, and they're doing the accelerator program, which is good because a lot of projects are doing it. I just think that Degods and Frank are very, very aware of where they sit on the spectrum of NFT land and where what position they hold on the market essentially. And I think that they know that they can do whatever they want, but because they can do whatever they want, all they have to do is just tie in a little bit of storytelling, and it seems like this whole, this whole new journey. But it's like all they're doing is just bridging to another blockchain because it's a better business decision to not be on Solana, which I agree with. I wouldn't want to be on Solana either. I would want to I was hoping they would bridge to ETH. I always thought it was a good idea. I remember we were talking about this for a while. There was some speculation. I guess there was some leaks or something, and people were talking about it. But the way he's doing it right here, I think is the right way to do it. But I think people who are in the know are like chuckling a little bit because I feel like I could see what the internal conversations were versus what they actually put out to the public and how they worded it. They're really, really good. Especially Frank is really, really good at wording stuff. Like when he drops these transparency update things, like he did in the last few months a couple times, where they like basically doxed everything they've done for like every single day for like an entire year. And like the way they word stuff to make it like when he dropped some big announcement, there's a lot of FUD. He basically came out with this whole newsletter where he basically answered all the main questions, but the way he asked and answered the questions in the actual like document was so specifically curated to make it so you couldn't be mad at Frank. You like wanted to empathize with him throughout the read. And they're master marketers, bro. They're fucking good at this shit. But I think to anyone who works in the marketing and business world, we kind of get the game. So it's a little bit different at least for me, it's a bit different.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I've never been a Solana maxi. I just know that if Bored Apes left ETH and went to any other chain, let's just say hypothetically there was another chain that was started doing really well, and I would feel like they let us down and I'd want nothing to do with them. So from a Solana community side, I understand a lot of Solana guys not like being hurt by it. The fact that I'm an ETH maxi and they're coming to ETH, I'll be watching it closely. I do think that Frank has done a lot right. I do think that he is really well spoken and he's grounded when he talks. He's got his feet on the ground. It makes a lot of sense. He's really good a communicator, and yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. But I do sympathize with the Solana community at large, even if they weren't holders, because it's a big loss to Solana, bro. Big loss.
It's a big loss. I think Frank is very aware that everyone that is in his community is like, it's a degen. He's like in charge of the degens. He's like king of the degens. Frank is king of the degens, guys. Because he's the king of the degens, because he knows he's the king of the degens, he knows so many people who bought in are straight, like, to the core. They are degenerates. Like, that is kind of the brand there, which is great. And it's funny, but because that's true, he knows that all he has to do is word things a little bit differently to make it sound like, oh man, you know what? He is right. Like, I just remember like the way he worded stuff on a couple of documents. I was like, it was something like, I see people asking this question. And I'm like, they're not asking that question. You're just asking that question. And now they're thinking, oh yeah, I do think that question. And then you're answering in a way where it makes everything sound perfectly wrapped. And I was like, bro, some people can see through that. Some people can't because they see what they want to see. And they're like, oh man, Frank's going to fucking take us to the moon. For me, dude, it looks better than average, like all the things they've done. But I would say that the thing that's made them get this legendary level is just the fact that it took onto Twitter. And so because of that, that's master marketing. So you have to hand it to Degods, have to hand it to Frank.
Look,
because they do understand.
I must be honest, like he's definitely the talk of the town at the moment. But I will say that there've been some silly decisions made. When they rashly said they're going to zero royalties and then went back on that. I just think that they're very inexperienced. I think they're a small team. However, with that said, to be able to raise $3 million from a blockchain in order to move there, I mean, we always talk that royalties are not sustainable as your only revenue source as an NFT project. We always say that, especially because of the bear market. We saw that. And you have this guy's raised another $3 million on top of other raises that have happened before just to move. I mean, in the end of the day, there are not many projects that can raise even $300,000 outside of the NFT sales and royalties. So here he's definitely done some things right. It's interesting. I'm watching the space, interested to see what happens. Very bold move. I mean, either way, regardless of how it pans out, a very bold move. He's gone from being one of the biggest on a small chain, on a small NFT marketplace, one of the biggest on a small NFT marketplace, to one of the smaller ones on a big NFT marketplace. And there's that age-old question, right? Would you rather be, top of your field in a small industry or, bottom of the field in a massive industry, or have a small percentage in a company that's a huge company, or have a, full ownership of a tiny company? And I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer, but he's definitely bold because he's going from where they're kings to where they are less so.
No.
There's Bored Apes,
bro. No. I know what you mean, like the floor price. I know you mean the floor price. But dude, Frank,
he's now coming to the big fish. He's coming to the Shark Tank.
Frank and Degods' actual brand is 12. Not 12. I don't know why I picked 12. Is 20 times stronger than Proof's actual Twitter influence, and therefore Web3 and NFT influence. If there's a Proof Collective party at Art Basel 2023 and there's a Degods party, oh my God, it's going to be embarrassing for how many people don't go to the Proof Collective
Well, none of the Solana guys are going to come anymore. None of the Solana maxis who are only on Solana are coming to that party anymore.
Get to Art Basel.
Okay. Anyway, interesting to see. All I'm saying is that he's definitely not the biggest on ETH, and he's not going to be. There's still Yuga. There's still some big collections out there. A lot of notable collections. It's going to be interesting to see
It's true.
What I'm saying, it's going to be interesting to see where they price in, where they slot in. What is their floor price going to be on launch? Where's it going to settle? Where are they going to fit on the Ethereum blockchain? They are not going to be top of the totem pole. That's a fact. I'm not saying they're going to be bottom. I'm just saying he's going from where they top to where he's not going to be. But I think he's in it for the long run, and I think that he intends on trying to work his way up the ladder on any ecosystem. So it's interesting. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't have any particular thoughts about it.
I like, and I am rooting for Frank. I think he's dope. I think they're all dope. I've stopped. I think this is me trying to stop putting other people on pedestals like they're fucking just have figured everything out. They know they're really that good. I just kind of stopped thinking that because I've met so many people who have made amazing decisions. And then when you like boil it down to like what actually happened or how it actually came to be, you're like, oh, it wasn't some magic fucking thing where they waved a wand and all this stuff happened and they're God's gift to humanity. They're just a normal person. They just happen to be really good at a couple things. He's a master marketer. He really understands promotion. Like he really gets this shit, dude. He's very, very self-aware. That's a really
that's what I'm hold on. That's what I'm saying. He is a master marketer to the Solana target market. Whether or not that same approach works when you're playing in the field of Ethereum, I don't know. So if you look at his video and then look at the video that Yuga just released or CloneX just released, or well, I can name 20, he's playing now in a big pond with sharks. It's different. So it's going to, what worked on Solana is not necessarily going to work on Ethereum as far as marketing goes. So that's why it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. Is he going to change his approach, or is it going to stay the same approach? And how's the Ethereum community going to adopt that? The nice thing is the NFT space is small. So even though I don't buy things on Solana or much, I bought an OK Bear, which you know about. Even though I don't, I know Frank Degods, right? So everyone, even Ethereum maxis, know Frank Degods, and so he's got that going for him. He's not like completely starting afresh on Ethereum. But it's interesting. I don't know how it's going to pan out, is what I'm saying. And neither does he.
Yeah. The good thing is he's been on OpenSea. So I know how you're saying like he's not on Ethereum yet, but because they're marketed on OpenSea and you can see them there, I feel like he is talking to the Solana crowd. But at the same time, the last few months, dude, he's blowing the fuck up. Like, I don't think he's talking to the Solana crowd. Like, he's arguably the most relevant person in Web3. Which means everyone's looking at him. It's not the Solana people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he's marketing to Solana people. I do believe a little bit that. And I also remember that he put out a statement the other day, like in the last week, that he said it wasn't going to be as much degenerate Frank. It's going to be more corporate Frank. And I do believe that's because he's moving to Ethereum. So I do think a little bit. But I do think
he successfully launched a project on Solana. That's where Degods launched. That's where Yoots launched. What would have been if he had launched initially on Ethereum? They wouldn't. Who knows? But I'm saying it would have been different. The marketing worked to a certain target market. But it's interesting you say that because that's exactly what I'm saying. The fact that he's acknowledging it's going to be more corporate, they're changing, means that he's thought about this and he understands that he's targeting a different demographic now or different target market.
All right, I'm with you there then.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see how are they going to change that, and are there OGs who move over with them to Polygon and ETH? Are they going to be happy with the changes that are going to come? And you're never going to make everyone happy all the time. But I would be upset if I was a Yoots holder because NFTs on Polygon are typically shit. I'll be like straight up with you. And I would be quite happy if I was a Degods holder because NFTs on Ethereum are typically good. That's how I honestly feel about it. I'm neither, so I can't really comment. I'm just interested to see how this all plays out. I'm sitting there with my popcorn, bro.
Do you know? Sorry. So here's the play is that we just saw they're going to drop their NFT launch accelerator program. I'm going to assume that whatever deal they did behind closed doors with Polygon was not just to get no more. Yeah, I guess not.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. It's just I couldn't help myself. That's hilarious.
That video is actually fucking good. That was a funny video. But they did a deal with Polygon. They got some amount of millions of dollars for it. That's fine.
2 to 3 million.
Yeah, but I'm sure I'm sure that because of that, they're going to have in some way, shape, or form support for the new projects that launch on Polygon. And I think what their hope is by the time Q3 rolls around, is that when it was Q3 when they're going to bridge over?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
I think it was Q3. So if it's Q3, whatever, even if it's in like 2 months, the amount of stuff that can happen in 2 months. So say it's Q3, say we're making 7 to 8 months. What happens in 8 months could be told. We might be saying, dude, Polygon projects are fucking crushing it. And then it's like, boom, Yoots to Polygon. And then they all moon together. And now Polygon has established itself as a competitor and a real blockchain, something that people take seriously, and stop making jokes about the fact that
Ethereum
Polygon takes fucking forever to work.
Ethereum is the NFT goat. No one can deny that. Is it possible that bloody shitcoin A or shitcoin B becomes the next biggest one? Sure, anything's possible. But I don't believe that that's going to happen. It could also happen that Solana blows up. There's more chance of Solana NFTs blowing up in 6 months' time than there is of Polygon NFTs. Polygon's amazing for gamification and things like that, right? Which I know they're doing. But anytime I see a purple Polygon sign on OpenSea, I just click off it. I don't want a Polygon.
For now, that might change
in
the next few months, you know. But
but I know Polygon are.
Sorry, go ahead.
As someone who bought a Yoots NFT on Solana, I didn't sign up for that maybe, right? And I didn't. I'm just saying, I would feel like similar to how I did with Moonbirds when they unilaterally went CCO. I would feel I bought a Solana NFT, and what am I going to end up with? I'm going to end up with an Ethereum or a Polygon NFT. If I got Ethereum, I would be happy because I'm an ETH maxi, but I don't know if the Solana guy who gets an Ethereum NFT is going to be happy. But if I got a Polygon, I wouldn't be happy. But maybe a Solana guy who gets a Polygon NFT is happy. I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot going on there, and it's going to be very interesting.
Their partnership with Degods, Polygon wants to be known. I think Polygon, a lot of people who are respected but not famous on Twitter, who are builder people, they all of them talk about how dope Polygon is. Like a lot of people who are respected in their work, not their Twitter presence, talk about Polygon being so undervalued, so underrated because of that.
Chain. Yes, I agree with that.
Right.
The Polygon chain is incredible. And all the big brands, like I think Starbucks was on Polygon, that whole Starbucks, like all the big Web2 brands. I'm saying just from a pure NFT standpoint.
But I think that's why they partner with Degods. I think they want Degods promotion and marketing prowess. They're not going to probably use Degods. Like, I don't think Degods is going to be retweeting a project that's minting on Polygon, but I think they're going to be like, okay, y'all have crushed it with the marketing and promo. We blow dick promo and marketing clearly because everybody hates us still, even though we're better than everyone or a lot of people and other chains and whatever. We're doing a lot of good stuff, but people aren't giving us the time of day to believe it, and we're not getting the chance to be able to get out of the limelight of like Polygon sucks. Like that's what everyone thinks, even though they believe that they have all this stuff. I think that's why they partnered with such a master marketing team. That's just my opinion on it. And I do think that at some point that narrative will change. And I think that's because they gave them $3 million and said, we need you to make Polygon way better than it is in the narrative of Twitter. When Twitter people are talking about Polygon, we need to stop being that chain that people laugh at. Because right now that's what it is. I think that's why they moved from Solana. Solana
is it enough? Is it enough just having Yoots on Polygon, like getting them to move over? I don't know. I don't know. I personally don't think so. They'll need to do this numerous times over. And yes, if they have $3 million for another 5-10 projects, great. I have no doubt that a lot of Solana projects are writing emails to Polygon at the moment saying, look, we interested, how many million will you give us? And all the rest. I have no doubt.
It's not so much about that, though. It's not really the Yoots. Like, I didn't really mean Yoots coming over would help Polygon. I meant like Polygon will get access to the Degods and Yoots team and their marketing, whoever they use for marketing. If they do it in house, I don't know how they do it. I think they're more like, hey, we need to partner with Degods because their team is good at marketing. We are not good at marketing. I think they're looking at Degods as a marketing team.
I don't think they're not hiring. They're not hiring Degod as their marketing agency.
I just feel like I feel like it makes sense that part of the deal is they said we need some marketing bits, and Degods is way better at this than us.
Just talk about Polygon. It's almost like when a company sponsors a sports team. That's how I see what Polygon's looking at it
Got
now. They just want to have a great collection on their chain as a start. Maybe they want a few more. I don't know. What their game plan is, Polygon side of things. But it's definitely like, for me, and look, I could be wrong, but I think it's them sponsoring Degods in a way, and Yoots, or and the Degods ecosystem.
Do you still hold Yoots?
I never had. I've never had Yoots or Degods. That's what I was saying. I'm saying if I were a Yoots holder and a Sol Maxi, I would be hurt by this. But I'm not, so I don't know if that's a true statement.
Yoots art is good, dude. I really fuck with the Yoots art. Like every time I see it, I'm like, man, if I had $5,000 just blow on a picture. I know, dude. The Yoots art is cool. It did.